Welcome to Cindy's Creative Inspirations. Hi, I'm Cindy Echtenaw, owner and designer at StampingScrapping.com. Today I'd like to share with you this manly birthday card that I made for my husband's 50th birthday and show you all of the elements that it took to create this card. The items that I used are the Tim Holtz Distress paper pack, the Yours Truly Echo Park paper pad, all of the stamps from the Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous Road Trip stamp set, and Spellbinders Sprightly Sprocket dies. I used Distress inks and black soot and fired brick, and then I used the Adirondack alcohol ink and red pepper. So let's get started. First of all, you're going to take an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and you're going to score it in half. Then the next step in this card is actually curling the edge of one of the 6 by 6 papers. And you're going to just take a petal roller or a pencil and just roll that in. You're going to do the opposite edges. And then we're actually going to take and adhere that down. And that is the base to our card. Next, I'd like to share with you one of the fun things that I just figured out, and that was taking Fimo or Sculpey clay and actually rolling it out and then stamping the Tim Holtz tire stamp directly into the clay. And then you can distress it by using black soot and the blending tool and just slightly rubbing across it to expose the pattern in the tire track. Then you have dimension, and that is the next thing that you want to add to your card. Now if you flip this over, you can see that I've already adhered score tape, and I'm just going to take off the sticky back to it and adhere it to my card. And then I have I've stamped in fired brick and cut out the Route 66 stamp from the same stamp set, and I've pop dotted that on. Now the next layer is created using the So Trendy Spellbinders Embossibility folder, and I've used this on the Distress Collection Ranger paper. And I'm going to pop dot this for dimension. And then I'm going to adhere on the next red layer. Now the next thing I want to share with you is actually the stamp of the car. And I want to share with you some stamp samples. First of all, this is just on plain smooth paper. And this is Memento Tuxedo Black ink. This is Archival Jet Black ink. And you get an okay image, but I have to tell you that my very favorite product to use now is the stamping paper from Tim Holtz. This is actually Memento ink in Tuxedo Black, and this I found gives you the clearest, crisp image, and that's the Archival ink in Jet Black, which is what I have used here. It dries quickly, and it just gives you a very, very crisp image. And then what I did was I actually trimmed this and the same thing here and ran it through. Then just trimmed around this to get this layer. So that's going to be our next layer. And we're going to stick that down right here. Now I have cut out already the Sprightly Sprockets, and this is one of them, and I'm going to adhere that. And I am using the Quickie glue pen from Sakura. And we're going to stick that down here. And then the next layer is actually another one of the Sprightly Sprockets, and I've popped out of that for dimension. And that we're going to add right here. Now these are the Tim Holtz gadget gears. Now I've already taken this one with my red pepper and my alcohol ink tool, and I've colored it already. So I'm going to adhere that, but then I'm going to show you what I did with the larger gear. I'm going to stick this right in the center here. For the larger gear, if you look at my card, you will see I did just the center here and the outside edges. And all I did was take the red pepper, add a little bit to my tool, and then go along the outside edges with this and just add some red. And then if you touch the center, it'll turn the center of your sprocket red as well. And then I'm going to place that right here. As soon as I can get my glue dot off. So that is our card so far. Now I'm going to add our happy birthday. And this is one of my clear stamps. I could have stamped it first, but I'm going to stamp it right now, and I'm going to add it right down here in the corner. There's my happy birthday in fired brick. And the last part of my card is adding the journey tags and the little pins from Tim Holtz. I'm going to add this right up here. And that finishes my card front. Inside, what I did was I actually stamped the stamp that is a speedometer, and we're going to adhere that down. To the outside edge, we're going to put the Sprightly Sprocket, the largest one. And it fits perfectly in the center of that Sprightly Sprocket. And then I have cut just a little tiny arrow, and I'm going to point it to the 50. Which is right here. And then on my card, I stamped the road trip at the top and then the last stamp here. So that finishes my card. And you can see what a manly, awesome card that is using all of the products found on stampingscrapping.com. Happy creating. Thanks for watching.